Hey everyone, welcome back to the Dairy Raid, and we're in that awkward period between the end of the recruiting cycle and the beginning of spring ball where there's not really much going on. And instead of mining other people's comments and stories to create content about news and notes that really aren't that interesting, I want to bring the Dairy Raid back to one of the core ideas that I had at the beginning, and that is education and helping you as a fan or as a coach broaden your football knowledge base to better enhance your game day experience going forward. And how we're going to do that here to start is we're going to build an offense. We're going to build an offensive playbook, an offensive system from page one, so you as a fan and as a coach have a better understanding of what it takes to build a system, what it takes to implement a system, and what it takes to execute a system as we go forward. All right, so here we go. We're going to start with page one. And page one has to be your offensive philosophy. This is the mental outlook and approach that you're taking to your offense. Because if you don't have a philosophy and core beliefs in what you want to do and how you want to execute it, then all your offense is going to be is a collection of plays without focus, without purpose. And that's something we want to avoid, because then eventually you're going to get to situations where you're not going to have answers to the questions that the defense asks. And this is coming straight from my 2025 playbook. And what I believe as my offensive philosophy and how I'm building my offense going forward. All right, so we want to establish who we are, what we believe in, and what we plan on doing. And for me, that is a multiple offense that will keep defenses in a state of conflict of assignment. And conflict of assignment it's something that we talked about before with the air raid, but it applies to any offense. It is the idea that no matter what the defense does in a situation, it is wrong. And by putting them in a situation like that, they're going to second guess. When they second guess, they react slowly, and now they're thinking instead of reacting. Offenses that struggle are offenses that allow defenses to play assignment football and just see what's in front of them and attack what's in front of them. I want to have an offense that punishes defenses who attack me and not take everything in at the same time. So with that in mind, we want to know how we want to accomplish this, how we want to run our offense to achieve the goal of being a multiple offense that puts defenses in a conflict of assignment. And for me, it's a four-pillared approach. I want to have a balanced attack and not 50-50. That's not what I mean. It is the ability to let the defense tell me how I should beat them, and then having the tools to do so. You can be run focused, you can be pass focused, you can have an identity. But sometimes that's all the defense focuses on. And if you don't have an answer to when the defense goes 100% to stop what you're known for, then you have a flawed offense. And that's where balance comes in. Misdirection. Making a defense find the football instead of attacking. Building off of what we were just talking about with conflict of assignment and a balanced approach is if they can't find the football, they can't tackle it. And if they're constantly searching, they're less likely to do their job. building off that, I want that defense to have to defend the entire field in all situations. There's only 11 players and there's a lot of space on the field to cover. Make them cover the entire field. Football is no longer played inside a refrigerator box. It's played on a field that is 52 and a half yards wide and 100 yards long. And good offenses will make a defense defend that entire space at all times. And then building off of the idea with modern football is pressing the option, creating post-snap answers to any question the defense provides, giving my offense the ability to take what the defense gives them, not only pre-snap but post-snap. That could be RPOs, play action, zone reads, whatever. Giving our offense the ability to do more. And again, making the defense defend the entire field at all times, not just pre-snap, not just as the play develops, the entire time. And when we have these ideas in place and we know how we want to run our offense, now we have to talk about our disciplined approach to effectively executing what we've already discussed here at the top. And for me, that is the ability to be physical and hard-edged at every position. We have no divas in my offense. Receivers have to block. Running backs have to pass protect. Quarterbacks need to be able to lower their shoulder. Football is a contact sport. Football is a collision sport. And if you do not want to be physical, football is the wrong sport for you. And we take that from page one. You know, this is what we do. But to do that, you have to be disciplined. Because if you're not, then your physicality and your aggressiveness can get the better of you, leads to penalties, leads to mental mistakes, lead to misassignments. We can't have that. And that creates great execution. And then finally, we have to secure the football. And securing the football is not about turnover avoidance. It is about making sure the football goes where it's supposed to, when it's supposed to, always. Never skipping a step in the progression, never skipping a read because, oh yeah, I thought. You create an offense that has the answers, and there's no room for freelancing. You give your players options, but you give them all the answers. And it's their job to execute those answers. So, at the end of the day, we got to have goals for our offense. And this is where you could insert your goal ladder or your pyramid of all these different steps, beating certain opponents, having certain statistical goals, whatever. And that's great. If that works for you, do it. However you set goals is up to you. I keep things really simple because we have a complicated game. But it all boils down to two things: scoring and winning. And that's all I care about. Scoring more points than my opponent, which allows me to win. It does not have to get more complicated than that with offensive football. You can win ugly. You can score low. And you can still win football games. And that's all that matters. All that matters. And it takes a coach to look at himself and to look beyond what his ego wants him to do, and just keeping it simple. Just win the football game. And by efficiently preparing with attention to detail and preparing smarter than our opponents, everything we listed above should be second nature. and should be easy. And now we have a complete offensive philosophy. This is my approach to building an offense, calling plays, and deciding how my team will beat their opponent. Doesn't have to get more complicated than that. It's page one. It's the first thing your players should see when they open their playbook. All right, that's it for chapter one of this series, episode one. Next time, we are going to get into, now that we're getting into the system, we're going to get into the most key aspect of the system, and that is your communication. How you translate the X's and O's into a language that your players can understand, remember, and execute as if it was second nature. And it is an aspect of the game that I think we are starting to lose focus on, where play names are getting 15, 16, 17 words long, and we get away from the point of what we're doing, which is communicating the X's and O's in an efficient manner that our players can remember, execute. That's it. All right, so that's it for now. Thank you for watching, and we will see you next time.